advantage of outsourcing is definitely its labor cost. For this example, this is an actual figure. I can hire a local consultant for 100 juta one day. 100 juta one day. For my price, 1.5 juta 1 hour. Quite different. 1.5 juta 1 hour for local consultant and 1 juta 1 day. Definitely, I should not work. I asked the local consultant how to work to me. This makes the project more profitable. But there are also the disadvantages. The biggest disadvantage is the quality control. I can do what I think, but firstly I have to tell the local consultant what I want. Then give instructions, specifications, and watch and monitor what they do, and look after. There's never perfect. I have to check with instruction again, and then again and again. So if I have already known, I have many experiences of working with the local consultants many times, it's okay. They will know what I mean. They will know what I want. But especially if it is the first time to work together, it's really difficult to communicate what I want, what the instructions, what I need. From zero at the beginning. Just case, especially for control.
Oke, demikian untuk sesi pertama. Mudah-mudahan memuaskan jawabannya. Untuk sesi kedua dari sayap kiri saya persilakan ya, 1, coba lagi, 2, 3. Sayap kiri. Silakan.
Yes. Okay, thank you for the time. Sorry for my bad English. I want to ask Sasaki-san, what should we prepare, or what should we do to minimize or to reduce the risk of the bomb with your slide of its project? And the second question is, what's the difference of implementation of project management in Japan and Indonesia? That's all. And second question to Kang Ansyad. Ini kan bagaimana mengatasi salah satu anggota tim kita yang mulai tidak senang dengan tim. Jadi diam-diam istilahnya mulai memulai fitnah atau mulai menunjukkan hal-hal gejala-gejala tidak suka dengan tim. Itu aja, bagaimana mengatasinya. Oke, that's all. Thank you very much.
Oke, untuk yang kedua, yang belakang.
Ya, selamat siang, saya Juni dari STS. Saya ingin tanyakan pada Pak Ladung mengenai project portfolio management. Nah, saya sendiri istilah ini sebenarnya ya baru tahu akhir-akhir ini aja. Nah, dalam struktural suatu perusahaan sebenarnya project portfolio management dilakukan oleh siapa? Karena kalau dari yang saya lihat tadi, saya dengarkan, itu kira-kira sebenarnya yang melakukan seleksi terhadap project-project itu adalah pimpinan. Ya, jadi apakah sebenarnya project portfolio management itu memang ada di suatu perusahaan atau secara tidak langsung terselubung di dalam suatu perusahaan? Nah kriteria kan kalau sejauh yang saya dapat tadi kan adalah project portfolio itu menseleksi project-project yang ada dalam suatu perusahaan itu dijalankan atau tidak. Nah, kan tentunya ada semacam seperti dokumentasi bagaimana mereka memutuskan ada nggak sampel-sampelnya itu bisa tahu model pendokumentasiannya itu seperti apa, apakah sama dengan yang dokumentasi yang dilakukan dalam project management sendiri. Project management kan menghasilkan banyak dokumentasi mengenai project itu sendiri gitu. Kemudian kepada Bu Ana mungkin mengenai PMP tadi, apakah buku buku yang disebut TMBOK tadi itu bisa diakses di manakah? Itu seperti iya, atau ada saya yang tahu di internet adalah TMP Prep Exam itu yang 75 soal itu saya pernah lihat memang, tapi kayak TMBOK apa harus jadi member untuk melihat buku yang saya tahu, buku project management itu adalah yang sekolah biru kurang lebih juga merefer ke TMBOK. Sekian dari saya.
Oke, pertanyaan ketiga. Siapa tadi? Ya, silakan.
Pertanyaan saya pada Pak Rahmat dari sini, saya menanyakan bagaimana cara memotivasi sebuah tim ya untuk yang sifatnya proyek-proyek yang diterima itu sifatnya monoton, sifatnya sama. Ya, seringkali kejadian performanya naik turun. Padahal secara SOP-nya sudah jelas, pengalaman tentang proyek yang sama sudah banyak. Nah, karena ketika perform timnya itu turun, itu efeknya pada perusahaan, karena ini seperti IT ketika dapat sebenarnya kerugian itu lumayan banyak. Gimana caranya menjaga tim itu termotivasi, performanya tetap tinggi. Jadi seperti itu.
Oke, 3 pertanyaan sementara dijawab dulu. Silakan. Maybe discussion.
Thank you very much, sir. I think I have two questions. One is how to reduce the risk of explosion of bombs, and second is the difference of project management between Japan and Indonesia. First question about regarding this decrease of risk of explosion. In the proposal stage, I think the most difficult and most important thing function of PMO is to avoid a conflict between projects. As I told you, suppose I'm already working on a project. The another part, suppose another part, they are getting a contact from Nissan. I don't know she's contacting with Nissan, and she doesn't know I'm contacting with her. But if we get the two projects, just business conflict. In that sense, PMO should know I'm already working on the project, and if Anasan asks the PMO should say no. Next time working for prototype, you cannot work for the Nissan. This kind of function is very important. And for the contract, for my company especially, the research and consulting company, there are mainly two important clauses. One is copyright, and the other is royalty. We don't have factory, we just have our brain and PC. So copyright is very important for our business. And in many cases, clients want every copyright, but we should refuse some of the outputs from ourselves. So there should be some negotiation discussion at the stage of contract between client and us. This copyright should be yours or ours. This is one thing. The other thing is the liability. Especially this is required in the private consulting business. Many cases, private company often requires results. I want to go to Indonesian market, I want to get a new business. If I get a new business, I will pay. If I don't get a new business, I don't pay. This kind of contract is very tough for us. We just give research, study, and consulting. We can guarantee the result. But if the guarantee is required, it will be very difficult for us. These two things are important for contract, and I check myself, but PMO also checks whether these conditions are there. And in case of implementation, definitely the client management. This is the most important function both for project manager and PMO. Suppose again, the time is my client. I I'm talking and dealing with Anasan. And sometimes it is important that another partner comes to Anasan and asks about Taki-san's performance. If Anasan says yes, we can feel very safe. But the post I could make claims to Anasan actually, but I would report to the company, yes, it's no problem. Anasan say yes, it's very good, but actually there's many claims in conflict. So in that case, there are the possibility of exposure performance. So PMO sometimes or quality management division sometimes can not through me directly to Anasan and ask how the performance of the lifestyle. This is one of the effective way to assure quality control and to avoid conflict. The question is not information. These are made assumptions and many methods of reduce risks.
Berikutnya ada lancar.
Oke, pertanyaan bagus. Biasanya kan di dalam suatu tim gitu ya, itu ada beberapa orang yang tahu gitu ya, dia justru jadi obstacle atau justru jadi apa ya, penuh motivasi buat tim yang lain. Sebenarnya sih kalau kita memang dekat dengan tim gitu ya, hal itu bisa teridentifikasi di awal. Itu bagaimana caranya kita mengerti dulu isunya apa gitu ya, isunya apa. Biasanya ini nggak langsung dari orangnya, biasanya kita dengar rumor gitu, kita konfirm aja langsung gitu ya, bahwa karena itu kan juga bahaya gitu ya buat performance tim. Kita konfirm seperti itu, kita panggil, kita bilang bahwa saya ada laporan gitu ya, bahwa saya ini motivasinya apa yang bisa